Hello, I'm Cleopatra Wallace, and this video is all about the train derailment that happened in Ohio on February the 3rd, shortly after 9 p.m. 58 cars derailed off of the train. It was a Norfolk Southern transport train, and 11 of those carts contained hazardous waste. 4,761 people were ordered to evacuate when it first happened on the 3rd. On the 8th, they were told that it was safe to return home. There has been a lot of weird happenings since this train has derailed. So we're going to dig into it a little bit. So let's look at some clips. All right. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances is made for commentary, news reporting, and teaching. This is a use that might be infringing, but this use is fair and it's permitted. Hope I said that right. Okay, so let's watch a short clip.
I asked him directly if he would personally guarantee that the railroad would stay there until absolutely everything was cleaned up. He gave me his word and his commitment that the railroad would do that. They would not leave until that was done.
We're seeing very low levels of contaminants, and so all of the treatment being done.
Uh-oh.
At those water systems, take out any contamination before it finished water. So I can't envision that there would be any risk that has already occurred.
Saturday, we were in my room, which I had the door closed, and it didn't smell in there. But my son came out, and he was like, "Oh my God, it stinks, Mom. It smells like paint thinner." And I'm like, "No, it doesn't." I got up and smelled, and it smelled like really, really strong paint thinner. And then his eyes turned like bloodshot, and he started coughing, and I was like, "Yeah, we're leaving." So we hurry up and grabbed as much as we could, and we took off.
All right. So I'm going to read a quick article. This is from The Guardian. Ohio train derailment reveals need for urgent reform. Union says rail companies' desire for increased profit is driving up safety risk and more accidents will happen without action. U.S. railroad workers say the train derailment in Ohio, which forced thousands of residents to evacuate and is now spreading a noxious plume of carcinogenic chemicals across the area, should be an eye-opening revelation for Congress and an illustration of how the railroad operates and how they're getting away with a lot of things. Workers and union officials cited the Norfolk Southern Railroad derailment in early February as a glaring example of why safety reforms to the industry, which include providing workers with paid sick leave, need to be made. 38 cars on the train derailed in the town of East Palestine near the Pennsylvania border, including 11 cars that were carrying hazardous materials. That incited an evacuation order, a controlled release of chemicals, and fears of a harmful chemical exposure to residents, wildlife, and waterways. Unions and railroad companies have been at loggerheads for years over new contracts that will address what workers describe as poor working conditions and will provide paid sick leave days amid grueling schedules caused by labor cuts. Without a change in the working conditions, without better scheduling, without more time off, without a better work-life balance, the railroad is going to suffer, says Ron Kamenkow, the General Secretary of the Railroad Workers United, an Amtrak engineer in Reno, Nevada. and a vice president of the Brotherhood of the Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen, Local 51, is just intrinsic with short staffing, corners cut, and safety is compromised. All right, so there's just them talking about. I've seen this article before where a lot of people were saying that the railroad cutting corners is what's doing this. Let's pick it up right here. Workers criticized the decision by Congress and Biden administration to impose a tentative new contract agreement on all railroad unions, despite more than half of represented members voting to reject it due to the lack of paid sick days. The majority of workers in Precision Railroad Scheduling Systems operational system focus on cutting costs, currently have no paid sick days, and face attendance points for taking time off, which could result in termination. All right. All right. So let's go to the cards part. Be back. All right. And we are back. And as some of you may know, I am out of town right now, away from my desk. But the gang is all here. So we are going to begin. Now, I like to start with 4 or more cards. If the cards fall to the floor, I only take the ones that fall face down. If too many come out, I will take the top and the bottom. All right. And I'm going to have to close this window. It don't matter what state you in. People always seem to know exactly when you're recording something and they start talking. All right. The spirit guides, holy angels, and ancestors gather around. Today we are going to East Palestine, Ohio. We want to be there on February the 3rd, and the derailment happened shortly after 9 p.m. So we want to be there on February the 3rd from 8:45 on through to now. So we're going to go from 8:45 on February the 3rd all the way up until now. So that's a pretty big window, probably the biggest window we ever had because it is an ongoing window. But we are in the zip code of 75801 through to 75803. It's a very small town. The whole town is only 3 zip codes, 75801, 75802, and 75803. So we're going to go 75801 through 75803. So is everybody clear of where we are? We are in Ohio. It's February the 3rd. We're on the train tracks. The Southern Norfolk Company has had a train derailment. 38 trains derailed. 11 of them had chemicals on them. We're in the zip codes of 785-801 through to 785-802. All right. So these also face up. So we're not keeping them. I like to start with 4 or more. If the cards fall to the floor, I only take the ones that fall face down. And if too many cards come out, I will take the top and the bottom. All right. So where was I? Right. We're in East Palestine, Ohio, with the train derailment that occurred on February the 3rd, shortly after 9 p.m., or shortly before 9 p.m. We started our clock at 8:45 on February the 3rd, and it is an ongoing clock, so it is still running. As you know, after the train derailed on the 3rd of February, 4,761 people chose, 4,761 people, we have one, were told to evacuate. 500 of those chose to stay. On February the 8th of 2023, they were told that it was safe to return. But there has been several fish kills in the area. And fish kills is just when a bunch of dead fish float up to the top. there have been reports of wildlife dying and birds and like chickens and stuff like that from farms. And a few people have been sickened by it. All right, we have 2. We only need 2 more. Let's switch decks. Now we're going to switch over to the Omega Land deck. All right. Spirit, we are still in East Palestine, Ohio with the train derailment. 11 carts containing hazardous materials were wasted out onto the ground. They sunk into the ground, and there are reports that it got into the river. Although people are saying that the longer it's in the river and the further it goes downriver, the less concentrated it'll be, but it's still in there, so I don't guess it matters the concentration of it. All right. We're wanting to know more details about this train derailment that happened in East Palestine in the zip code of 75801 through to 75803. They were ordered to evacuate on the 3rd, and they were told that they can return on the 8th. This is from the Southern Norfolk Railroad Company. And even though I don't think there has been any fatalities, there have been a certain amount of health risk due to this. All right. So it looks like we have our start. Okay. All right. Altogether, we have 6 cards. Okay. Let's see the first one. All right. The first card out is the King of Swords. Let's have a look here. Well, this here has the energy of someone that was working on the train. Like an engineer or a conductor. They're showing me in slow motion. You ever like see a funny video of like a cat or a dog, how it slowly puts its head down and falls to sleep? When I look at this card, they're showing me like the way his arm here is relaxed. Right there, the relaxed arm on this side. I don't have my pointer with me. On that side, the relaxed arm and his shoulders. They're showing me like him slowly slumping down in a chair like he's falling asleep. Now, we're going to clarify this just to see why it's showing me that. It kind of reminds me of when you fall asleep in class and you just slowly kind of drift away. All right, Spirit, we are officially on the train at this point. You're showing me a conductor from February the 3rd, shortly before 9 p.m. and a zip code of 75801. You're showing me that a conductor or engineer or someone works on a train who is very, very relaxed right now. What? All right. If I say, what more can you tell me about this person? All right. What came out is the 2 of Pentacles. So let's see. And the 2 of Pentacles is normally a card that just means juggling of some sort or multitasking, working on more than one thing. All right. These here, the little cups in the water, they're like coffee cups. or some type of energy drinks. I think you know how you try to boost yourself up to stay up. All right, so we have a sleepy engineer or conductor or somebody with the train who was trying to keep themselves up with coffee and energy drinks. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, the next card out is the Ten of Pentacles. Let's have a look. All right. They're giving me the phrase an uphill battle with this. Because at this point, the train has derailed. Like the accident has happened. And the feeling of how am I going to get all of the chemicals up off the ground is a feeling of an uphill battle. So let's clarify. All right, Spirit, we are still on the date of February the 3rd. We are between the hours of 8:45 p.m. until now. We are in a zip code of we are in the zip code of 75801 through to 75803. You show me a uphill battle here concerning getting the chemicals up. What can you tell me more about this uphill battle and the attitude or the energy surrounding it? All right. Oof, the Tower. And as you all know, the Tower is the moment when it all falls apart. So they were feeling kind of hopeless about this. And you can definitely see it's falling into the water. I'm going to use the incense while I do this. Like, see right here? To where, like, pieces of it has fallen into the water. So they became very discouraged when they realized it was in the water as well. All right. Let's go on to the next card. All right. So these are the people in the community. We had the Four Wands card. So these are the actual residents. So let's see how they are dealing with this. These are the 4,761 people. Okay. Okay. All right. So they're showing me that even though the family is at this point it has just happened and they're safe in their home, but you see the way this knife right here is slightly pointed off the table towards this girl. They're showing me that even though the family is safe and in home, they are still in danger. Like there's still an element of danger even though they're inside their homes. So let's clarify and ask about this danger. Keep up with the time, 12 minutes. All right. So we are going to ask about it. All right, Spirit, it's February the 3rd of 2023. It's shortly before 9 p.m. until now. We are in the zip code of 75801 through to 75803. You show me a family here, one of the residents. All right. Some of the residents of East Palestine. It's going to ask more about the danger. All right. The card that came out was the Page of Pentacles. And we're asking about the danger. And it's kind of strange when you look at it. In this card, they're showing me that this man is appearing to be walking on water. So the danger is in the water. Or it's soaked into the water, the chemicals. So I'm guessing the air is dangerous too for the residents right now. But the biggest danger is this water. You're not supposed to be able to stand on top of water. Maybe there's something in it making it messing with the consistency of it or something. But the danger in the town is directly related to the water. Now, as we all know, we need water for everything that we do. All right, let's go on to the next card. Now we have the Nine of Swords, which is high anxiety. A lot of sleepless nights, worrying, thinking about it nonstop. So let's see what is here. I don't know. It could be in the air though, because they're showing me that even though I hope I don't burn myself with this darn incense. They're showing me that even though that this man is sleeping, you see the little arrows pointed down. All of these little arrows, and then you got little arrows that's pointed up. Like even in their sleep, the residents are still ingesting the chemicals. Like it's in the air at this point. So it's in the water and it's also in the air. Now, let's ask about the air quality since they've shown it to us. All right, Spirit, we are in East Palestine, Ohio. It's February the 3rd. We are somewhere between the hours of 8:45 p.m. until now. The window is still ongoing. You show me the residents in their home and they're in danger even though they're still in their home. It's in the water, and now you have shown me that it is possibly in the air still as well. What can you tell me about the air quality in East Palestine, Ohio since the train derailment? All right. Okay. So what came out is the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Swords. And this is on the air quality. Y'all are hilarious. So the Golden Beetle comes out, and this is a lawsuit. I guess the residents at some point are going to try to sue the railroad and get themselves a pretty penny because of the air quality. And that's a big old shiny penny. They are in grave danger, so the residents are thinking about suing because of the air quality. I feel like I could have seen that coming. All right. Also, the King of Swords. Let's have a look. This card has the energy of one of the town officials, like a something like city council or governor, or like a politician. This is a politician. And he has on, they're saying the velvet glove. This hand is gloved. They say the word velvet glove. And I guess that's might be all politicians, but a velvet glove is when someone is they're kind of mean and nasty, and they're not very pleasant, but they put on this velvet glove to appear softer, when you shake people's hands and approach them, to where you feel likable, to where you want them to feel like you can relate to them. Like, we're all in this together. I'm here for you, that type of thing. But in reality, it's, could care less about the residents. This is a politician. Politicians really only care about that bottom line. So we have a politician here that is telling the residents that he is with them and they're all in this together, but he is really working with the railroads to help sweep it under the carpet. So we have a I don't know, a corrupt city official. I wouldn't necessarily say corrupt, but a greedy city official because he's motivated by money. All right. Well, as we can see, some money gonna come out of this. All right. On to the next card. Okay. Oh, the death card. So I don't know if there has been fatalities from this. Let's see. Ah, okay. Oh, I don't know. The energy is different down here. The spirits are talking faster. Like it doesn't take me long to look at the card. Well, I am in the southern hemisphere right now. Okay. So with this card, even though it's the death card, you see the way the shadow of death is still casting out down a long ways and it's still on the people. Like these are the residents. So they're gonna have to live in the shadow of this chemical spill for a while, which means like it's gonna linger. It's gonna always be in the background no matter what they're doing. They're gonna always have to think about, is it safe to do this? Is it safe to do that? Or I remember this. Or sometimes there are events that draw a line in your life. Hold on, let me close the window again. I don't know why. Every time I think I done closed the window all the way down, it was a little bitty crack, and they come right outside that window and started raking. Got to be kidding me. Now, like I was saying, sometimes there are events in your life that draw a line through your life, and you kind of live in the shadow of it. But what I mean by draw a line to your life is you will say things like, oh, before the train derailment, we used to go picnic over there. Or ever since the train derailed, they closed that restaurant down. So people in this town are going to start to use the train derailment as a line drawn through their life. It's going to become like a way to tell time, the before the train derailed and after the train derailed. So they're going to live in the shadow of this for a very long time. So we don't need to clarify that one. All right, we have the last card on this. Okay, so the next card up is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords usually denotes a choice. All right. So this here is it's kind of talking about the choice of ways to clean it up. And as we know, they set it on fire at one point, and it was like a big explosion where they thought it would burn off, but instead it just kind of exploded and floated over. So when dealing with the choice of what to do, they're making a choice, and they went with this choice. You can barely see it, but it's like some clouds up here with the smoke, that big smoke plume. The choice that they made. Let's ask about that choice. I want to know who thought it was a good idea to set the chemicals on fire. Was it that corrupt city official? All right. Now I have 8 minutes left to finish this one. All right, Spirit, you shown me the choice to set the chemicals on fire. After the derailment on February the 3rd, shortly after 8:45 p.m. in the zip codes of in the zip codes of 75801 through to 75803, there was a choice to set the chemicals on fire. All right. The sun. This is what came out about the choice to set it on fire. And it's the sun card. But this is showing up as an angry explosion. And it's kind of rained down a little bit of death on the people underneath. So we have an angry explosion. All right. We got 5 more minutes. So let's use the spider deck. All right, Spirit. We are still in East Palestine, Ohio. You can come back to the date now where we are of February the 20th of 2023. It's shortly after 11 in Texas. Can you tell me the long-term effects of this train derailment in East Palestine? What are the long-term effects? What can the residents expect to happen to them and for them since this train derailment? What's the energy of East Palestine after the train derailed? All right, so we have the energy of the whole town. Oh. So even though they realize that they are in grave danger because chemicals has flooded their community, the people of East Palestine are actually kind of happy because they about to get a big payoff, or so they think they are. Well, they're going to have to give them something, but still, they're a little upset about what happened, but they're more happy that they get a reward for what happened. All right. I am Cleopatra Wallace, and this was all about that train derailment. But stay tuned because we're going to dig into the balloon thing too. Those balloons that was floating all around.